Welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll be talking about Francis Ngannou's next fight. So to begin, Francis Ngannou is riding a 2-fight losing streak, and in his last fight, he fought in one of the worst fights in UFC history, a fight that he lost via an anticlimactic decision. Anticlimactic would be an understatement. The fighter who was once seen as like this monster, seemed like this beast-like figure, seemed timid and was unwilling to throw and unwilling to engage. Any hype trains that remained after him being exposed and his title fight loss to Stipe Miocic had all crashed after an even worse performance against Derrick Lewis. Not because he was dominated or outmatched, but because he looked timid, showed zero urgency, and lacked confidence. And that's like what really kind of killed it. Like maybe against Stipe was seen as like this so smart and so technical and such a great champion because he was able to wrestle Ngannou and do all this stuff and have a good performance. But then the loss of Derrick Lewis just erase that whole image of him being like a beast or whatever, or being like this monster. Show him he looked very human, even more so than when he was getting dominated against Stipe. But now to his next matchup. Let's get out of the past and go on to the future. His next matchup could be a good or bad matchup for him, depending on how you look at it. His next opponent will be Curtis Blaydes, a fighter on the rise and on the cusp of a title shot. One of the better wrestlers in the division, the youngest fighter in the top 10, top 5, and also a fighter whom Ngannou has already faced once before and beaten once before via doctor stoppage. But a lot has changed since the first fight. I think Blaydes has gotten a lot better, and Ngannou has gotten just a bit better. But riding this skid where he's losing right now on a 2-fight losing streak, I don't know where his mind is at. And also saying the blueprint basically being laid out there by Stipe. Will the path to victory for Blaydes be clear and possibly easy, maybe too easy, given that Blaydes has all the tools, all the wrestling, all the stuff he needs to neutralize Ngannou? I think there are some potential upsides to the matchup, though, for Ngannou. I don't think it's all just on Blaydes. I think it's for Ngannou has some upsides, both in the styles and in the positioning. For one, Blaydes isn't necessarily a power puncher, so Ngannou won't be worried about letting his hands go. And also, he has already beaten Blaydes. He beat him before, so he will be confident going into the matchup, into the rematch, because he knows I fought this guy before, I fought him before, and I beat him before. And then finally, both fighters are in the top 5, and Blaydes is looking like the most promising contender in the heavyweight division right now. So if Ngannou can defeat him once again, then he's right back in a good position for a title shot. Maybe only needing one more win, or maybe some convenient scenarios to get a title shot. Well, that concludes this video. Do you think this is a good matchup, like good or bad matchup for Ngannou? And what about Blaydes? Is this a good or bad matchup for him? Like, one considering that he doesn't really need to fight Ngannou. He really doesn't. He's like in the top 5 on a good winning streak, looking good. He might be able to sit around and get a title shot. So he doesn't necessarily need to fight and risk giving that up or risk losing it again or going 0-2 to Ngannou. He doesn't really gain much from it by beating him now that Ngannou's on 2-fight losing streak. So is this a good matchup for Blaydes, or is it a good like a bad matchup for him? Like I said, but yeah. Also, maybe the UFC is trying to cleanse the Ngannou loss off of Blaydes' record by allowing, well, it's not going. You can't ever take a loss off your record, but there's always the what I guess you call out the whiteout maybe kind of effect where you're not really erasing what's there. You're just kind of covering up by saying, "Oh, I fought this guy before, and he beat me the first time. I beat him now. I got him better. That loss is behind me completely. I've avenged my loss," like that type of way. Like by avenging your loss, you can't erase the loss, but you can avenge it by beating the man who beat you before. So whatever the case is, maybe that's what the UFC is targeting by making this matchup a chance for Blaydes, who's looking like the most promising prospect in the division, to avenge his only loss before they potentially cut Ngannou. Because Ngannou's on a 2-fight losing streak. It doesn't take long before the UFC to cut you, especially after you fall out of that good graces. First losing in that big fight to Stipe and like disappointing a lot of people, then to even make an even more disappointing performance against Derrick Lewis. It definitely takes you out of that good grace, well out of that good graces, and maybe they're just through with Ngannou and trying to cut him at this point. And if they do cut him, maybe they want their best prospect in the heavyweight division to avenge his only loss to Ngannou, so he can be even more marketable. But that concludes this video. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.